to the apostles of GMS that rule well. And peace, blessings, salutations to the hopeful elect, the ones that's tuning in, trying to get their minds right, preparing themselves for the day of Yahweh Shah, and mortifying their members on this earth in this wicked kingdom. Real quick, as you can see, a lot of these women crashing and burning, men also. Basically, all the generations you have, the baby boomer, millennials, Generation X. What is it? It's the next one. I'll be forgetting those names, but throughout all those generations, they were all coerced into loving America, and America is nothing but the so-called white man's demonic, satanic playground. Due to the dysfunction of the people here in America, the great empire, Babylon the Great, and this illusion of pleasure and happiness and getting rich and living like a rock star is exactly what they want you to believe in. So Esau can keep ruling, and then those people that call themselves the real, the children of Israel, they can be in not moved out of their place. Their power comes from America and the dysfunction of the people, and then the illusion and the wine and the sorcery that they have enacted on all the nations, and how they have subdued those other nations. But here in America, if a woman is not taught, or a man is not taught by their parents, and what Satan desires and what the Lord desires, the Christian church, these religious denominations has failed. Our people, so-called Negroes, Latino, Hispanic, Native Americans. And if you don't teach these kids, they will be devoured in their latter ages. And it's a damn shame here at our latter ages, we're just learning a lot of things about, reality. So it says, this is Titus 2:1, but you must teach what agrees with sound doctrine, instruct the older men to be sober. Don't teach these things in a man, what's the outcome? There goes those nasty thoughts, those nasty, wicked, the pleasure, doing things behind people's backs, your parents' backs, and I believe one of the bishops, the apostles, did a video on it. I believe Elder Anap, Bohemian Insider. He pretty much was exposing the Bohemian Grove and how he became a witch and a warlock. And again, that left hand shit is real. I know a guy in the world I grew up with. He was telling me certain things about when he was incarcerated. How there was one of those witch warlocks in the cell. Salaki. You also got to remember the story of the account in Egypt when Pharaoh and his men was able to bring forth magic, turn their staffs into serpents as well, just as Moses did. So you got to understand this is real. These spirits, these wicked spirits are real. And ultimately, how you say, The wicked, he sets up snares and he sets up traps. Um, One thing is dangerous too. Is a little child in a little child watching those cartoons. One thing that the dude said, he used to watch Superman and a lot of wicked um, horror films. But the fact that he saw Superman that could fly and not really understanding the mechanics behind it, a child like that can find himself going to the highest part of the city or wherever, or climb to the top of a tree and actually jumping off the tree thinking he can fly. So again, yes, it's a very demonic society because those cartoons, these things that they see on television, does destroy the mind. And again, that's Satan's playhouse. And if a parent does not instruct their kids, because there's more to this telling your kids no, because that's also one thing he said as well. All his dad told him was no, you can't do this, no, 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 and it made him angry, and it made him go into certain things because he was angry. But I don't want to. I kind of want to say that for another lesson. But see, this is one of the reasons why Israel fell, because ultimately, just like Yahweh made us commandments, law, such commandments that tell us what things to do and what things not to do. And one of the things, the reason why we fell is ultimately so we can see, both sides. Now we're actually understanding why the Lord made the law, statutes, and commandments, and now we're seeing why it can't be wickedness that take place on the society, because ultimately pleasure, no discipline and no order, this is what you get in this is what you see. So it says, in the same way instruct the older woman to behave as women should who live a holy life. And these women here, they're not living a holy life, they're living a pleasurable, so-called pleasurable life, a world of complete happiness. But ultimately, when you really understand what's going on behind closed doors, these bitches are witches and warlocks, man, and they're into that magic. And these bitches love them drugs, man. And Esau sets these women up in places to destroy other women and to destroy households and go completely against their nature. In the same way, instruct the older woman to behave as women should who live a holy life. They must not be slanderers or slaves to wine, philosophy, etc. They must teach what is good in order to train the younger women to love their husbands and children. And this is what we're seeing. Ever since the baby boomers, children was not ordered to, women were not ordered to be wives. They were ordered to be whores, independent women, and career driven. Anything else outside of that, it has to be about happiness and money. Same thing with men. Men were not ordained to be husbands, but players, love drugs, become rich, and try to be this old, basically a superstar, rock star on TV. Losing your morals, having no backbone, being a simp, and worshiping women. You're not standing for nothing. So it says, to be self-controlled and pure. These women aren't being told any sense of self-control. And to be good housewives who submit themselves to their husbands, so that no one will speak evil of the message that comes from Yahweh Shem Shah. And since now, and that's why everybody's, saying this, Salaki. And that's why everybody, a lot of people are becoming atheists, especially a lot of our people of our nation, because the Christian church has failed our people. They never told our people the right, correct fashion of the scriptures. Basically, our people, the Christian pastor church, basically made our people one with the society, and this society is completely Satan's playhouse, the so-called white man's. So it says, in a self way, urge the young men to be self-controlled. In all things, you must be an example of good behavior. Be sincere and serious in your teaching. Use sound words that cannot be criticized, so that your enemies may be put to shame by not having anything bad to say about us. So again, good works, a pattern of good works, not being a hypocrite. Again, if a man doesn't want to be a husband and want women, want wives, then what are you? What is your purpose? As a nation, as a man, ultimately, just like certain men, just like Paul said, if you're burning, get a woman, but I'd rather you as me. But ultimately, at the end of the day, Paul really understood a bigger picture. Certain men not going to have wives. Certain men not going to, we're not going to entertain women. We're not going to really take women serious at the time. Because our end goal is we know that we understand a bigger picture. And we understand this is for our nation. This is for all of us, starting with the elect. So again, we're looking on the future foresight, the bigger picture. So, of course, in order for a man to do this, you have to love your woman. You have to love the men of your nation. Because ultimately, we understand the Lord has a reward for us. When we get those crowns starting by Yahweh Shah, starting, and then we get the kingdom, we're going to have our wives. We're going to have a complete good, with brotherly love, unity with all of our people. But unfortunately, right now, we have to stay focused on what's important. So it says, so nothing won't be bad spoken of. Let me get the scripture. Train up a child. So it says, teach children how they should live. Salaki, Proverbs 22:6. Teach children how they should live, and they will remember it all their life. So it's very important. Yep. I'm starting verse 5. If you love your life, stay away from the traps that catch the wicked along the way. And here in America, a lot of things are set up out here for you to destroy you, because it's a Satan playhouse. Again, when you look at the scriptures and the commandments, it's commandments that the Lord set up, and then it's commandments. And what we're saying again is the reason why the Lord made the commandments, because if you're not operating by those commandments, you're going to see the so-called black community, in the ghettos, the slums, in the favelas, and that's why you see the dysfunction. The curses is the opposite of the commandments. And since we didn't follow the commandments, he allowed us to go into the hands of the heathen, and now we have to try to live by their code. But the heathen himself is fucking hypocrites. They don't have no God. They don't serve anything. Their God isn't real. So again, if they scourge, or if they don't keep their commandments, who's gonna render them anything? Their God isn't real. So my point of saying this, since our people didn't want to keep the laws, statutes, commandments, they wanted to be like everybody else. The Lord allowed us to go into these hands of these merciless heathens, altering the so-called white man. And we understand the so-called white man, he operates straight. He's the right-hand man of Satan himself, and how he elutes the mind. This man, this devil has done many studies on how to destroy your mind, how to harvest those demonic thoughts, those satanic thoughts, and to catch people. You know, this man's the master. I mean, Esau is known as a cunning hunter. So it says that's why again he wants to take the children early. You know, that's why that's why he broke the house, the household structure. That's one of the New World Order plans. Is to destroy the family, destroy the man, destroy the woman, and then have all access to your kids, and then also have abortion clinics set up or abortion places set up so he can make those sacrifices to those gods that he worshiped. Yes, there's a lot of blood and a lot of filthiness. You know, bros watch that video. So it said, teach children how they should live, and they shall remember all their life. And it said, what is it? Horse. One more than I'm gonna end it. Horse. Damn. Child not trained. I think it's in Sirach. It's not what I'm looking for, but let me see. Well, I'm gonna read this part. Read this one real quick. A father who loves his son will whip him often so that he can be proud of him later. If a son is disciplined, he will be of some use, and his father can boast of him to his friends. Anyone who gives good guidance to his son can not only take pride in him among his friends, but he can also make his enemies jealous. And the same thing with a daughter. You know, a daughter's not going to shame. A man is not going to allow his daughter to bring him shame, because since you know, everything has a lot. How you say, a man deals with a reputation in his name. Ultimately, that's what carries. So a man is not he's not going to want to see his daughter on a stripper pole or be out there being a whore. Yeah, Sirach 30:9. I'm gonna get this in the GNT. And Sirach is not. That's where I'm gonna get it. So it says, I just want to get to the point. If you pamper, Sirach 39 in GNT, if you pamper your child and play with him, he will be a laughing, he will be a disappointment and a source of grief. And this, and see, oh, here it is, here it is. If I'm not mistaken, verse 8, my bad, verse 7. But anyone who spoils his son will have to bandage his wounds. And that's why the time that we're in now, a lot of these women don't even want kids. A lot of these women, when they have their sons and their daughters, they really don't even want them. They really don't even like them. And, you know, all their hatred really goes out on them. And a lot of times now, it's just in the sake of a woman just trying to get this old queen worship. What happens is all she really is moving in is on a fashion or a way that she's being glamorized or promoted or worshipped. Yeah, I said I was gonna be, it wasn't gonna be long, but that's how it be. But anyone who spoils his son will have to bandage his wounds. And these women, all they do is just give their children gifts, put them on TikTok, put them on Instagram, Facebook, and dancing with them and trying to just make these fucking kids just smile every fucking time. They overly love their sons and they overly make their daughters real fucking hard, and to the point that they really just become whores or fucked up mentally. And all they teach their daughters is really just basically use their body to make money. Their whole being and purpose is to use men. And eventually they burn themselves out, and this is what you're seeing now. His heart will stop every time he hears a shout. Yeah, all emotional. Okay, he can't fucking think. A son, since all he been around is emotions, now that nigga's emotional. So every time something happens, that nigga just, blurt out. An untamed horse is going to be stubborn, and an undisciplined son is no different. If you pamper your child and play with him, he will be a disappointment and a source of grief. And all these women now are doing, they're just playing with their children. The video tip, and I don't really understand your sick, demented purpose of putting your children online. All these fucking freaky people, nasty creeps. You got all these fucking women, all they want to do is put their daughters in fucking dance programs and etc. And all you want to do is dance all in the club with your children, videotaping them all on TikTok, dance with their children in matching fucking clothes. It's fucking despicable, man. So it says, laugh with him now, and one day you will have to cry over him, grinding your teeth in regret. Don't give him freedom while he is young, and don't overlook what he does wrong. Whip him while he is still a child and make him respect your authority. If you don't, he will be stubborn and disobedient and cause you nothing but sorrow. So discipline your son and give him work to do, or else he will be an embarrassment to you. And this is why the so-called white man laughs at us and the whole world laughs at us, because now you have the so-called black man, which are emotional, sassy, zesty, a faggot, man. That's all I'm gonna just say. I'm gonna just say it just like that. Fuck it, because I can't pronounce it. And that's why the woman, the so-called black woman, she gets on any outlet. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. She sits there and makes herself a laughing stock. Ghetto gaggers, etc. It doesn't matter. And all of this is the result of not teaching your children, parents not being parents. Satan's playhouse, the Edomites' kingdom. Lord's will, you was edified. With that, shalom.